I remember the last day I got to see him. I was in 4th grade. My mom came to my school and picked me up and said, we have to tell your teacher a little white lie.
A father spent 9 years in prison, away from his family, for a crime he says he didn't commit. 2 decades later, he could end up clearing his name. I worked with the ABC 15 investigators more than 2 years ago to show you how crime scene analysis has changed over the years. Tonight, this new evidence means a new hearing. It happened in the summer of 1994.
It was about 11 o'clock at night. I was out at the chicken coop.
Carrying a .22 caliber rifle near his Creekside home in Prescott, Arizona, Jay Krause says he heard gunfire and a vehicle coming down the road.
Saw the lights in the dip, and then all of a sudden, it sounded like gunshots. I thought at that time, this is like a drive-by shooting.
He says he fell to the ground.
I tried to cover up my head, and at that time, accidentally squeezed a round off in the rifle.
The vehicle crashed. The driver, 18-year-old Charles Thurman, had been shot in the head.
At that moment, it hit me. My rifle went off. I must have shot that boy.
And that's the story police and prosecutors went with. Krause was convicted of manslaughter and spent 9 years in prison. But now, 19 years later, new evidence could prove his innocence.
Another judge that has no connections with this town said this guy needs a hearing on it.
A Mojave County judge granted Krause an evidentiary hearing.
So that was good news.
All a result of 4 students' work at the Innocence Project at Northern Arizona University. A large part of Krause's conviction was based on something called composite bullet lead analysis, or CBLA. It's a forensic technique once used by the FBI to link crime scene bullets to weapons. The problem is the FBI now discredits this type of evidence.
They've determined essentially that it's junk science.
As a result, the FBI is looking into hundreds of cases where CBLA evidence and testimony was a key factor in getting convictions, like in the case of Jay Krause.
This evidence and this testimony went to assist in the prosecution's case against the defendant.
A crucial piece of evidence that's no longer supported. Next, they looked at the angle of the bullet. Pouring through trial transcripts, police reports, and the medical examiner's report, it hit them.
There's no way we believe that that fatal shot came from Krause's rifle.
The state said Krause fired off 3 bullets from his rifle, including the fatal shot to the head. The entry and exit of the lethal shot looked like this, showing the bullet entered from the back of the head.
So, visually, it didn't make sense for Krause to be looking this way, facing this way, perpendicular to the car, and to have that bullet have entered, the kill shot have entered the way it did.
Something that had not been done in 1994 was to do the elevation.
How high was Krause standing compared to the road? To answer that question, they asked Phil Locke, a science advisor for the Innocence Project in Ohio. Locke analyzed the angles and trajectory of the bullet and possible locations of where the kill shot could have originated.
My analysis says it was not possible.
According to Locke, Krause would have to be 25.7 feet above the surface of the ground.
In other words, Krause would have had to have been suspended in midair.
According to his affidavit, the analysis shows the fatal shot could not have been fired from anywhere near Krause.
There wasn't anything left to show that he did do this.
Today, Jay spends as much time as he can with his son Justin. They even work together at this auto repair shop.
Freedom, that's a rough thing to lose. A lot of people don't understand that. But to have, where's my boy? Where's my son at? That was the hardest thing, was losing that. The time and the family, you can't. It's gone.
Krause says he wants his name cleared, not for him, but for his son.
We've talked. He might feel like he has to make up for stuff, which, I'm not going to say no, because I lost it too, so whatever we can have from this point forward is awesome.
Now, Krause's hearing is set for June 17th. It'll be heard by a Mojave County judge, even though it will be taking place in Yavapai. The Yavapai County judges passed on it, citing a conflict of interest.
Well, so if Krause didn't do it, from such a high angle, who do they think did it?
Yeah, it's a good question, and the Innocence Project actually did take a look at that. They came up with a few ideas on this, and you can read about those on abc15.com. Under the News tab, just click on Investigations.